Hey everybody, I am back. I am free and I am in the land of the living once again. It's been a really hectic 2 weeks, as most of you have already seen and know. But first and foremost, I have to get the formalities out of the way. I thank God for everything, to be honest with you, because He definitely answers prayer. And I had to remember that, the Word of God says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. So I knew that wasn't my final place, and I knew that He had a bigger plan for me. And even while I was in there, incarcerated, I had to ask myself, why am I here? What is it that I need to get from this experience? Even if I was falsely accused, I'm here for a reason. And Lord, I need you to reveal that to me. If not now, I know soon. But He gave me enough, and I was actually able to talk to one gentleman through the wall, and we talked about Christ a lot. He wanted to know a lot. He felt as if he was nothing, as if he was trash. He has an 11-year-old daughter, and her mother died of overdose, and he is well on his way to the same path. And we had a nice heart-to-heart, and if nothing more, I believe that God's will was done in that situation, and I'm going to continue to keep in contact with him as best I can. So definitely know that. Now, to get to what brought me to this place in the first place. So, first and foremost, I'm sorry, I've already got that out of the way. Secondly, I need to thank some people. First of all, I do thank all of you. I really genuinely do. Shout out to Donnell Proctor. When I was in the hospital, you brought me a blanket. I greatly appreciate that. Some of you guys tried to call me. My phone was off, so I wasn't able to receive those calls, but I appreciate your gesture and all of that. Donnell did come and visit me as a convenience. I guess he was in the hospital. He works there, but he did. He came in his off time, brought me a blanket. I greatly appreciate that because it was cold. Secondly, my dad really kept me calm. Ander, you're awesome. He kept in great communication with my best friend, who actually was able to come out there and visit me. So shout out to Jason. I love you, and I love all of you because I know you all do care. And I'll be very honest with you, sometimes I can be a little mushy, but I was really touched when I did get back on Facebook and saw the camaraderie that this is more than just about the game of dozens that we play with each other, and that not everyone has to be messy all the time, and some people really genuinely care. So that really meant a lot to me, and I appreciate that. I genuinely appreciate that. So I've written most of this down because I didn't just want to start bantering off, and we'll go from there, and hopefully it answers all of your questions pretty much, and we'll go. So on April the 3rd, well, let's go a little bit before April the 3rd. March 28th, let's go a little bit before that. March the 21st, I believe. One of those days, I was in JP, subject of office hours, for something that I felt was not my, I didn't deserve it, but I accepted the charges, and it was less formal than a court-martial. It doesn't show up on my record, no felony, so I accepted it. But ever since I accepted that, my command has not been willing to so to speak, wipe the slate clean and allow me to continue on being the sergeant that I am. And I have people in my shop who have to work for me. And one particular individual was definitely undermining that authority and jeopardizing the I want to say he was jeopardizing the chain of authority when it came to working with these Marines and chain of command. Nevertheless, this continued. I pulled the individual aside. It didn't stop, and everything just kind of came to a point that day for me. I'm dealing with this NJP stuff, and he just really was on my nerves. And for those of you who know me intimately, personally, I guess, not really sexually, but I can have a little bit of an anger problem sometimes, and sometimes it gets the best of me. So like a good young man, sergeant that I am, I talked to my master sergeant and said, hey, listen, I need to go and talk to somebody. This was on a Wednesday. I was like, because the tension and anger is building up in me so that I can't, I can foresee this turning bad if I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to do that. He blessed it, and I went to behavioral health on the base here, and I talked to two individuals. They asked me some very specific questions. I answered them. Some of them you can say were kind of leading questions, maybe, maybe not. But one of the questions was, do you want to hurt yourself? I said, absolutely not. I'm frustrated. I'm not depressed. Do you want to hurt anyone else? My answer was, sometimes I feel like that's the only way to get some situations resolved. Personally, I do think that we've all been there. But there's a difference between having an emotion, a feeling, and having a plan to carry that feeling out. And I believe that is where the ball kind of dropped, turned sideways, turned upside down, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Because the next question was, well, who are the people that have made you feel this way? And I answered that question. From that point on, this shit just spiraled out of control. I spent a week at the National Naval Medical Center and talked about my feelings and anger and how to control it and better process it and all of those things. So I felt reformed, and I was assured that, hey, as long as I continued to talk to a therapist, you know, everything was going to be good. I was going to come back to work, shake it off, and get to work, because that's what we do, you know. Not all wounds are visible flesh wounds. Sometimes they're mental, and you need to take care of those too. So anyway, Wednesday night around 17:45, I get back to the base, and I was told to meet with the commanding officer, who presented me with some paperwork. And that paperwork was from the commanding officer to the regional jail. Sergeant Cunningham will be on pretrial confinement for violation of Article 134, communicating a threat. And it reads as this: per the reference, Sergeant Cunningham was placed in pretrial confinement at the regional jail on 3 April 2003. And this is the reason why. On 29 March, according to the command now, this is their reason why. On 29 March 2013, multiple witnesses heard Sergeant Cunningham communicate threats to injure or kill numerous people in his chain of command, as well as, due to the Sergeant Cunningham being a risk not only to himself but to other Marines as well, he was taken to a medical facility to receive mental evaluation. 3. Based on the facts outlined above, I find that there is probable cause to believe that A, the offenses can be tried at a court-martial and the facts support that Sergeant Cunningham committed the offense, namely that he communicated threats. B, this confinement is necessary because it is foreseeable that Sergeant Cunningham will not appear at pre-trial or the hearing of this investigation. And C, Sergeant Cunningham will continue to engage in criminal misconduct. 3. Less severe forms of restraint were considered. Let me repeat that. Less severe forms of restraint were considered but are inadequate because Sergeant Cunningham has shown a blatant disregard for military regulations. He is a potential flight risk, and the serious nature of this alleged offense cannot go it says he's a potential flight risk, and there is a serious nature of this alleged offense. Given these facts, it is necessary to keep Sergeant Cunningham in pretrial confinement. Signed, Commanding Officer. So, that's what I was met with, and I couldn't believe it, because my thoughts coming out of that hospital were, I remember the day just as clear as day, and it started like this. Are you ready? Here's your chance. These were the words from the captain in the army who was on the ward. Yes, ma'am, I told her. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. She helped me get ready to leave by giving me some advice. One of the last things I remember telling her is that the closer you get to your blessing, that's the last thing she told me, was the closer you get to your blessing, the harder the devil works. We both laughed and agreed. But God. About the only guy from Quantico I really wanted to see came to pick me up, and he was one of my co-workers, really good guy. He brought me all the way back, and that's when the shit hit the fan. So I've been in jail ever since that day, and because I'm an active duty military member, they don't allow us to go to general population, so I was on solitary confinement. No windows. I was fed through a tray slot, and the only view I had was out of a 7x7 window, and it was only to see their face when they were checking to make sure that I was alive. And that was crazy to me, I had a lot of thoughts that went on in there, but you know what? I also had a lot of time to think about me, and think about what I want to do, think about where I'm at, think about life in general. Could I have done anything differently in that situation? And I'm going to tell you off the top, the answer is no. I did exactly what I was supposed to do, and that'll come out after I'm done reading that. But just a few of the things I was feeling. I've never been to jail. Maybe some of you have, maybe some of you haven't. So some of you will relate to these things and some of you won't. The towels in here feel like plastic. I've never dried off and still been wet. It's crazy. There's so much anger and hatred in here. Time just all runs together. I haven't seen the sunlight in over a week. I'm surrounded by a lot of hatred. Threats come out with every exhalation of most inmates breathing. Having a sense of humor will go a long way. This is no place to be emotional. Do the best not to appear weak. How did I end up in the hole in the first place? I can't believe that I actually have an inmate number that I will probably never ever forget. I sleep on a 5.5-foot plastic bag filled with what seems to be toilet paper, and it sits on a 6-inch high cement block, which was it was pretty bad. Sleeping was not a good thing for me. I had a 2-inch toothbrush. It was the worst. I didn't get to shower every day. As a matter of fact, I showered once, and that's pretty dirty, but it is what it is. The noise around you never stops. You never just get to hear silence. Even in my sleep, maybe because I'm hyper sensitive already, hyper vigilant, due to other things that I hear everything, even in my sleep. So I never really got a sound piece of sleep. There's no such thing as, uninterrupted sleep, like I just said. Food is passed through a tray at the lower part of my door. I couldn't help but feel like I was bowing just to get food, and I don't know, it just didn't sit well with me. Getting a haircut never felt so good. I mean, I went in there like that photo you guys saw, which was totally embarrassing to me. So when I was finally allowed to get a haircut, it was kind of great for me. For the first time in my life, my name was in the paper for something bad and not true, and that hurt. I felt abandoned in the worst way. I joined the Marine Corps for a family, and I felt abandoned in the worst way. Some good things: patience and ingenuity worked hand in hand to help me clean my body and my clothes, since they didn't let me do shower or laundry. I learned how to do it on my own. I didn't talk to anybody. I kind of fixed the little sheets together and put them in the sink, and hey, I'm a Marine, adapt and overcome. So I did that, and that was great. On the 8th, which was yesterday, I finally got a chance to see the sun. I went out in this little cage, literally a cage, and I just started singing. There's a praise on the inside that I can't keep to myself, and a whole lot of other songs. But I was just happy to be out there, and I spent the whole time alone, just praising God and thanking Him, and that was great. My best friend came to see me yesterday as well, and we prayed about it, and God's favor is more precious than life. It genuinely is, and I appreciate that He has bestowed some of that favor on me, and I'm thankful for that. So today was supposed to be my pre-trial hearing. I forget what they call it here, but it's nothing more than military way of saying arraignment. So that happened today, and at the arraignment, I talked to my lawyer. A very great guy, very great captain. And long story short, I was handed a piece of paper, and it says prisoner release order, correctional facility. Let's go, or we'll be releasing said named prisoner, Sergeant Edward C. Cunningham, Branch United States Marine Corps, for this reason: review of the evidence did not support charges under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So all of this investigating that they quote unquote done was after I was already plastered on the news as the worst thing since sliced bread. And that hurt. That left a really salty taste in my mouth. I'm not here for vengeance. There's no malice in my heart. But needless to say, I'm done with the Marine Corps. As far as wanting to re-enlist, get promoted, I just want to get out. I want to get out. There's life beyond the Marine Corps, and it's time for me to start living it. So anyway, I've taken up about 20 minutes of your time. I definitely just wanted you to know that from my own mouth. Most of you, and I was excited when I read it. Most of you didn't even have to hear that from me, because a lot of you already know my character, and I do get angry. I get angry a lot. But I'm dealing with it a hell of a lot better, and if you're still in the military, I need to articulate this to you. I was found innocent, or charges were dropped, because ultimately I did do the right thing. If you have thoughts of hurting yourself or hurting someone else, The right thing is to seek professional help. And in the end, if you do everything the way you're supposed to, you should not have to go through all of the red tape that I went through. Bullshit, if you ask me. But please do not be afraid to use your chains of command. No one's forcing me to say that. I greatly believe that this was a major this was an inadequate observation. It was insufficient, it was inadequate, it was just wrong. And I pray that it never has to happen to any of you. But I do know that all things work together for good to those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go to my room and unpack everything I own again. And now that I have a lot more free time on my hands, you guys should be seeing a few more of these. So thank you all again. And the Jesus in me certainly loves the Jesus in you. And I look forward to seeing you all. I'm still on restriction until May 5th. So I won't be doing anything until then. But I look forward to seeing you all and just continuing to, be blessed and be a blessing to others. So that being said, good night. And you guys have a great evening.